By the way, you guys heard on the report, I think I'm going to take another outage today. We ready on our side? We're good? Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me here at Newark Airport, Terminal A, where since Monday we've seen more than 1,700 cancellations and delays, many of them last minute. I do want to begin, before I get into it, thanking law enforcement who's here. You got Port Authority PBA, Frank Conti is here as well. You've got a lot of people here on the team from Port Authority, and I want to thank everyone for taking a minute to be here, because this issue couldn't be more important, not just to our economy in New Jersey and in the region, but to the safety and well-being of all of our families. United Airlines has cut 35 regularly scheduled flights from Newark, and its CEO even told people to go to other airports because of these issues. Travelers have had it with the delays. I've heard from a lot of them. They're calling me, they're talking to me. You see them posting about the delays, about the cancellations. This airport is a key hub for our economy in the region. 20% of America's GDP runs through this region. It's not because, and by the way, they're not frustrated because Newark isn't one of the best airports in the world. It is. It's not because of our workers here, the best, which they are, including our law enforcement, including everybody who works on the ground, in baggage, the flight attendants, in those in the tower, right? Everybody who makes this place work. But what they're frustrated about and angry about and concerned about is because right now the airport simply lacks the FAA tower staffing levels, modern technology, and infrastructure that we need to make sure that this airspace, the busiest airspace in the world, runs efficiently, smoothly, and safely 24/7. You add that to the ongoing runway construction here at Newark, which was planned, and you can see why things overall are a mess at this airport, and why things are jammed up, and why those delays are occurring every day right now, and cancellations occurring every day. Last year, nearly 146 million passengers flew in and out of the New Jersey, New York metro area, a new record. Our region is a key economic artery for our country. Yet this region, the Newark sector, as the FAA calls it, one of the busiest airspaces in the world, as I mentioned, is running off a tower that's full of copper wire dating back to the 1980s with outdated and inefficient technology. And the region is short, and this is a big deal, the region is short about 40 air traffic controllers that it needs. 40. So you're talking about, right now it has around 22, and it should have somewhere in the 60s. The result is lots and lots of delays and canceled flights, and air traffic controllers who were way overworked and extra stressed. It also means that people are increasingly choosing other airports to fly in and out of. All of this, to me, is unacceptable. As somebody who works for Jersey, who fights for Jersey, this is unacceptable, both at this airport and what the FAA is doing. If any of us were running the FAA, this wouldn't be happening right now. I'll say it again, our air traffic controllers are the best in the world, and everything they do, by the way, I'm very proud of them, but everything they need to do, they're unable to do when you're so short-staffed. And that means that flights get canceled and flights get delayed. On a good day, our air traffic controllers are under an immense amount of pressure to do a lot with what they're given. When the slightest error could be deadly, as we know, we must do everything we can to fix this problem, from staffing levels to technology, and get Newark Airport flying again at the levels it should be. But the question is, how do we get here? Our system for managing air traffic is, quote, incredibly old. The Secretary of Transportation called it frail, Newark Airport, frail. It relies on floppy disks and copper wires instead of more modern fiber wires. The tower facility, which oversees all incoming traffic right now into Newark, was built in 1973. 1973. Think about how old that is. It's like Brady Bunch era. And on April 28th, a copper wire fried and wiped out all communications between controllers and planes for up to 90 seconds, causing 5 employees to go on trauma leave, further worsening air traffic controller shortage and causing more delays and cancellations. Imagine a minute and a half with no communication, radar or radio. Big news out today, just now. My understanding is there was yet another outage in the last hours, another 90-second outage of radar and radio in the region. That's the second time in a matter of days. Imagine a minute and a half with no communication and all those lives relying on you, as those in the tower have to deal with. These are issues that many of us, including me, have been on for years, along with the Port Authority and the FAA. I visited the tower here, actually, not long ago, and saw firsthand how antiquated the systems are at this airport. Air traffic controllers working grueling, around-the-clock shifts. Some are working overtime without air conditioning, having to pass little pieces of paper. If you've been in the tower, they're literally passing little pieces of paper to communicate, paper slips, exposed pipes, roofs ready to cave in around them. You got to see this thing. Making things worse, as I mentioned, there are not nearly enough air traffic controllers. Staffing is at its lowest point nationwide in 30 years, with more than 90% of our nation's air traffic controller facilities operating below FAA recommended staffing levels. There are 73 facilities that are missing a quarter of their workforce, with controllers retiring by the age of 56 and taking up to 4 years to train and replace them. That's the average training time, 4 years. We're hemorrhaging experienced staff. And the fewer staff we have, the more stress and hours they have to take on, creating a vicious cycle that we must act on right now to fix. That's why I was alarmed earlier this year when the Trump administration added to the problems when they gutted the FAA and announced that they were firing 400 workers. It made no sense given how short-staffed we are. These are ground workers who help with the added safety and security of our airports. And it's clearly causing massive stress on the system. While air travel remains the safest form of travel in the country, and I want to be very clear about it, it's the safest form of travel, we still saw from January through April, the National Transportation Safety Board investigated 250 aviation accidents. And tragically, there's been 143 aviation-related deaths already this year. In January, we saw 67 lost souls in that crash over the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. So it was good news yesterday when the administration appeared to reverse course and recognize that action should be taken. We heard Transportation Secretary Duffy announce new plans for the FAA to replace or upgrade the decades-old, outdated infrastructure at more than 4,600 sites with new fiber, wireless, and satellite technologies over the next 3 to 4 years. This includes replacing 618 radars that are past their life cycle, 25,000 radios, 475 voice switches, and building 15 new towers, and 6 new state-of-the-art air traffic control centers for the first time since the 1960s. I'll pause for a second. Do you want to set up? You sure? Okay, cool. Again, this is something that many of us have been calling on for years to do. For me, dating back to my first term in Congress. Last Congress, I helped pass the FAA Reauthorization Act, requiring the FAA to deploy critical safety technology at airports across the country to help prevent close calls on and around the runways, to actually help with our broader FAA staffing shortages and technology issues. It's why I worked so hard to help write and pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill, which includes $53 million for Jersey airports with $42 million for Newark to upgrade our terminals and enhance runway safety. But what the Secretary of Transportation proposed yesterday is a massive project that just won't happen overnight and with the snap of a finger. Here are steps we got to take to make sure we get it done. First, I'm calling on the Trump administration and the Secretary of Transportation to send their FAA air traffic control overhaul plan to Congress to vote on by June 1st. They should fast track this, get it to us to vote on by June 1st. This should be an emergency funding request that Congress brings to the floor immediately to vote on to get these resources moving to help fix the technology at our airports, including in our towers. Outdated technologies I mentioned in the tower that oversees all incoming flights here, that dates back to 1973. Copper wire, wires that probably caused the outage that happened again today for another 90 seconds of radar and radio. It's clear that we can't afford to delay fixing our towers any longer. No more copper wires. No towers that don't have Wi-Fi or who can't upgrade their technology to be able to even deal with adding the latest and greatest that we have around the world to track planes and air traffic control. We're the greatest country in the world. We can do this, and we must do it now. As part of this request, I'm asking the FAA to work closely with the Port Authority to conduct an immediate review of the technical wiring and infrastructure here in Newark and in the region and Philadelphia, anywhere that oversees this airspace, so we don't miss anything in this process, that we make sure we upgrade all of our technology as needed. They should tell me what they need, and I'll go fight to make sure it gets in the request. Second, we must immediately move more air traffic controllers from other parts of the country to this short-staffed region, the busiest airspace in the world. The staffing shortage has meant more delays and cancellations and more overworked and stressed air traffic controllers. We should pay these air traffic controllers whatever it takes to get them there. The bonuses, the overtime, we should not shortchange the air traffic controller. We should make sure we get these air traffic controllers. You're talking about 20% of the nation's GDP running through here. We got to get our staffing levels up. It's hurting Jersey, it's hurting our economy, it's hurting our country. Today I'm suggesting that we go a step further in recruiting air traffic controllers. I'm calling on the FAA to establish a training program to safely and smartly fast-track combat controllers, or CCTs, from the military to become FAA certified air traffic controllers. I've heard from many in the military controllers specifically, who are ready with the experience and the desire to help fix this problem, to solve this problem. The red tape should not get in the way of that. If it takes nearly 4 years in this region to train somebody air traffic control, we believe that time will be much shorter to be able to get somebody up to speed from the military who's actually in the towers there, overseeing combat missions, to be able to get here onto the commercial side. By creating this program, we can help fast-track military control tower workers, get them trained on how to handle Newark airspace, reduce staffing shortages, and help airports like ours get back on track. This is just common sense. And clearly, again, if they can handle this guys in a military offensive, they would have a great leg up on handling the flights here over the New York and Newark airspace. Think about McGuire Air Force Base, a great space in Jersey, of great people serving. I'm going to go there and recruit. If everyone wants to come here and help make this place faster and better in terms of solving the problems, it seems like a great opportunity to get those from McGuire who may be retiring, who are looking to maybe transfer from the military, to come here in the air traffic control and help out. That to me seems like an obvious solution for Jersey and for this airspace. Third, we must ensure that as we upgrade the towers to new technology, as outlined in the Secretary's plan, our air traffic controllers are trained to use it. Let's make sure as we're upgrading our technology, we're bringing in our air traffic controllers so they know how to use the latest technology. Let's not wait on that. Let's do that right now and give them the tools to hit the ground running. And finally, and this is directed at all the airlines here who operate at Newark, they need to get ahead of the cancellations and flight changes. I keep hearing from so many people, right, who use this airport regularly, travelers, families, business travelers, and others, that they keep finding out last minute, right? Just a few hours before, either when they first get here or right before they get here, that their plane is going to be canceled or massively delayed. We should be able to figure this out based on staffing levels, the runway construction, and any other issues they're facing of what they got to do about it. We want people to use Newark Airport. We want them to have a great experience. I want everyone using Newark Airport. This is the best. Look at this great new terminal we have and the best people working here. I want people to come here. I don't want them going anywhere else. But I know this. We can't wait a day longer to fix the technology issues. We can't wait a day longer to fix the staffing issues we're seeing here and around the country. We've got to surge in investment, ensure we have enough people in the towers and on the ground to ensure safety in our skies and to get planes moving faster. The bottom line is this isn't a partisan issue. It's a matter of public safety. It's about our economy. It's about Jersey. It's about fixing a system that we need to work together to fix. If we do that, keep our families and skies safe, there's no reason why here in the greatest country in the world, our best days won't always be ahead of us.